realize what's happening from wherever they are in the city, they will eventually move over there and be part of that. Now, that is quite a picture out there. The flag of Papua New Guinea right above Port Moresby and precisely the Sir John Guy Stadium. Parachuters from 4 of them at least. We've seen 3, but there should be 4 from the Australian Army. Yeah, how good is that?
When I say PNG, you say
how good is that?
PNG.
That picture will be used over and over for a long time. It's sort of circular now. They're making their way into the stadium.
And now for the landing.
Now for the landing. Smooth. Steady. Control. Soft. They land standing up. Slide. Still, they land peacefully and right on target and right on time. To the delight of those who are there at the Sir John Guy Stadium for this spectacular, to conclude all the activities and festivities in Port Moresby to celebrate Papua New Guinea's Golden Jubilee celebrations marking its independence. Yep, yeah, high five, why not? You did a good job. You know, I think the people out there will say, can you do it again? We want to see it again.
John, I think crowds are still gathering in from the activities they are attending to in parts of the city. That crowd will slowly build up as more and more people see the parachuters
the spectacular is not going to be just a show of things that are spectacular, but it is honoring our founding fathers. That is what this show is all about, honoring our founding fathers through cultural dances in at least 21 provinces, including the autonomous region of Bougainville, will be taking part in this because Papua New Guinea has been molded, guided, led by leaders representing all corners of this country, and this spectacular also has a softer part to remember the contributions of these early leaders. Some of them have passed on. In fact, nearly all of them have passed on. But there are a few who are still alive. And in this spectacular, they will be remembered, if not in person, for the one or two who are alive, then of course their families will have pictures and some sort of a portrait of them. They will be displayed at the spectacular to acknowledge their contributions to the country that is now 50 years old. And also, it will be a demonstration holding our cultural values, our traditions, and the beating of the kundu drum that symbolizes our unique reference to cultures. These things are put together by the Creative Arts Department of the University of Papua New Guinea. Some 400 drums of unity that'll be echoing throughout the stadium at Sir John Guy Stadium. And of course it'll culminate with at least hundreds of drones in the sky depicting legends, the myths, the traditions, the stories. So it is quite exciting, and we are anticipating quite an ending to our celebrations. And when we say spectacular, it probably speaks of something like funny, as a wowing effect. Yes, it may have a wowing effect, but it has a wowing effect that has a big story behind. And the story is that remembering our leaders, remembering where they come from, the many provinces and many traditions that are associated in this country, that makes us a country. So it'll be a demonstration of that to conclude the celebrations marking the 50th independence anniversary of Papua New Guinea, right?
Yeah, John, look, the theme of these 50th anniversary celebrations, again, celebrating our history and inspiring our future. John, we won't predict or know if some of these cultures we will carry on after 50 years or 100 years, but now that we have the chance to preserve that, to celebrate that, let us do that and probably help the future, our future generations, to carry on some of these practices, because this is what makes us Papua New Guinea. This is what makes us who we are from the beginning, a land of many thousand different tribes living together as one nation, one country, Papua New Guinea, despite our challenges.
And we were expecting some flyovers. Here's a chopper. We were also expecting a civilian flyover, and I suspect that the flyover would be great if they flew over the Airbus A220, the new plane that had arrived yesterday. But let's get to the stadium now and get the feeling, get the atmosphere out there as people gather to will go through their paces, and as they do it, they've planned this, they've choreographed this. It will be spectacular, but behind that will be a really, really meaningful story. separately, as we mentioned a little earlier on, there will be at least 21 cultural groups, 21 provinces, but within that province, I mean, you and I know there's so many languages within one province. And that's why we make it up to about 800 or so different languages, don't we? But within the 21 provinces, there'll be more than one, if not two, even three, different singing groups, different groups that will come in. They'll perform. And when we say when groups come in to perform, and we see this in shows or other festivities, festivals, and cultural groups perform for a long time, but these have been, as I said, they've been programmed and choreographed to perform a certain act within a given time. And then they'll move on and another one comes on. So it should be like systematic and it should move on. But and this would be about the time they should or would have started. But and I'm sure they will pretty shortly.
Yes, John, and it's a bit slow here, and we still have the flyby happening at the Sejong Gai Stadium from the pictures that we're getting from the crew on the ground.
It's swaying to the beat of the drum right there.
Bird of paradise, the flamboyant, colorful bird showing its awesomeness on the 50th anniversary celebrations. And John, those planes and aircrafts were part of the air show that was conducted during the military week.
They would have been, yes, they were.
And now they are part of the 50th celebrations again here in Port Moresby. John, I think the dance groups that are slowly making their way in were participating in some of the day's activities throughout the city. Hence their arrival at the Sejong Gai Stadium. You would also expect the others as well, the crowds that are slowly building up at the stadium, coming from other events of the city.
Yes, yes. And our crew on the ground, if they can stay on that shot, there's a big stadium up there. That's where some of the performances will be, but you see some blocks in front of the stadium. They've moved the shot, but if they stay in front, if they stay on that shot, the blocks that are in front are where people are going there with groups will go up on there and they'll perform. And eventually, we're going to get hundreds and hundreds of young people, students, who will assemble in front there and will create the map of Papua New Guinea. And that'll be quite spectacular.
Yeah, John. That shot there is from the PNG Education Institute side, going towards the PNG football stadium at the back and the Stanley Hotel and Vision City. Yes, so that's what we're looking at the moment. Not much happening, John, at the stadium, like we said, but we'll slowly get there.
Yes, we will.